consider in choosing appropriate assessment tools. So there are three things that we consider in choosing appropriate assessment tools. First is the goals of assessment. So it is important to consider first the goals of assessment before choosing an appropriate assessment tools, because the goals is the reason why you are doing an assessment, because we want to achieve something or anything. Next is the method of assessment, either direct or indirect. So later I will discuss the direct or indirect method. So the next is the interval in giving assessment. So it is necessary because when you are using the same strategy every day, the student will surely feel bored. So because they will experience the same thing each day, so it is necessary to give assessment every time or every day you are finish your topic or you're discussing. Next, one of the challenges for beginning teacher is to select and use appropriate assessment techniques suited to the learner's needs. So during teaching, teachers not only have to communicate the information they planned, but also to monitor student learning and motivation in order to know whether modification have to be made. So monitoring students' performance is necessary because by that you will know the strength and weaknesses of your students, so you can make an adjustment or you can improve your way of teaching. Next, the informal assessment strategies teachers most often use during instruction are observation and questioning. So informal assessment, because they are not written or recorded, the purpose of this is to know if the student understand what the teacher has discussed. Next is direct method. Any process employed to gather data which requires participants to demonstrate their knowledge, behavior, or thought processes. Next is indirect method. Can provide a useful supplement and check on the findings from direct method. So it is also reflect upon their knowledge. So this is the example of direct method or the tools: class tests, assignment, tutorials, and semester exam, minor, major project, workshop, summer or winter schools. And indirect method or indirect tools is exit survey, alumni feedbacks, curriculum feedback, employee survey, parents feedback. Next, for you to better understand, it is another example. So a department or program has identified effective oral communication as a learning goal or outcome. A direct assessment method involves observing and assessing student in the act of with a rubric. So in indirect method, asking student to indicate how effective they think they are to communicating orally. It can be through survey like instrument with a rating scale. So and in direct method, so Their assessment method is involves the observing and assessing, which is direct. The teachers is observing and assessing the student, while the indirect method is the student just allow to reflect their knowledge. Next is what characteristics we can consider in selecting appropriate assessment tools, whether conventional or ICT-based assessment. So, first is measure the desired level of performance. So, it's important to consider the level of performance of the characteristics that particular tools must measure the level of satisfaction, productivity, efficiency, students' performance. So next is the cost effective in terms of effort, time, and money. So in short, these tools is you are going to choose must be worth it, or it could be give you things that you need. So next is useful, that will produce results that provide information that can give or can be used in making decisions to improve student learning. Next is reasonably accurate and truthful. So that's right. The characteristics of tool that you must choose is must provide you a accurate and truthful in terms of the result. So next is the defendable, consistent responses over time. So it is connected to the fourth one. So it must be defendable. It must provide you a result that are consistent or must be reliable. Next is the evidence of being ongoing, not once and done. So it is like being consistent as well. Next is after the discussion a certain lesson, the teachers conducts formative assessment on the frequent use of evidence gathered from various methods as feedback. So guys, I wanna share with you the 5 strands according to Dragas and Karyutake 2016. So the first is the first participation, perspective taking, social regulation, tax regulation, students learning, and knowledge building skills. So next is the creating and utilizing rubric. So rubric is a set of criteria used to determine scoring for an assignment, performance, or product. So all of us know the rubric. So it is the systematic way of collecting information about a particular behavior or a knowledge or skills. So the main purpose of rubric is to assess students' performances. Next is there are 2 types of rubrics. First is the analytic rubrics, and next is the holistic rubrics. So analytic rubrics is the describe work on each criterion separately. It utilizes separate holistic ratings of a specific characteristics, products, or behavior. So, holistic rubrics describe the work by applying all the criteria at the same and enabling an overall judgment about the quality of the work. It utilizes holistic ratings for a product or behavior. So, in holistic, it is a single grading scale. So, all criteria considered in the evaluation is included together. So, rater assigns a single score. So, example is in AP exam. So, next is doesn't provide us granular target feedback on student performance. Next is the analytic rubrics. It is a multi-component grading scales. So describe each evaluation criteria separately. So raters assigns a score for each component along with an overall score. So total or weighted. Next is provides more granular target feedback. More time consuming to create. In checklist, there's only two options. It's either yes or no. It can be conferred in the switch. For example, it's either on or off. The teacher will only choose if the particular students demonstrate the behavior he or she is observing. Next is the rating scales. So, allow the teachers to indicate the degree or frequency of the behavior skills and strategies displayed by the learners. So, in rating scales, it is used whenever or when we are rating someone or something. It can also be seen in a research questionnaire. And rating scale, the teacher will just check if the student demonstrated the behavior and it has a frequency like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, that's all. So, to sum up all, it is important to know that teachers should use a variety of assessment methods in the classroom. Assessing student how the teachers are able to evaluate student material they are learning in the classroom, and therefore has to be done to accommodate the students' needs. That's all, and thank you po.